You're listening to One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
One Sweet Wrestling Podcast.
With your host, Beto Barragan.
And we all know that when the good Lord created man, he meant for him to look just like me.
And Alex Lewicki.
The tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
The podcast made by fans for wrestling fans.
One sweet, one sweet, one sweet, one sweet.
You're listening to One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. What is up? It is I, Beto Barragan, the host of One Sweet Wrestling Podcast. And with me, as always, the one and only
human Wikipedia of wrestling knowledge, Alex Lewicki.
That is right. So we are here on a Thursday evening as opposed to our normal Tuesday evening pre-recorded show where our Instagram followers get to hang out with us, talk wrestling live in person. Well, in a way, in person. But yeah, dude, so we just want to go ahead and address kind of why we weren't here Tuesday with you guys on Instagram.
Yeah, guys, Tuesday, over this past weekend, there was a bit of a family emergency on my end. I'm not going to get too far into it. Everything is okay. Everyone's okay. My car's a little dinged up. But other than that, we are perfectly fine. I am here. I am live. I am ready to go. And we are ready to talk about actually something kind of somber. Bruno Sammartino, one of the great pioneers, one of the great legends, basically one of the faces on the wrestling Mount Rushmore, has passed away.
Yeah, Bruno Sammartino, if you do not know the name and you've been living under a rock.
Or you're just too young.
Or too young, and that happens. He's very much well before our time, I think. But nonetheless, a wrestling legend, living legend for a long time.
And the name and moniker legend gets thrown around a lot with a lot of different wrestlers, but when you look back at this man's career, there's no other word that can describe him other than legend.
Legendary.
He falls into that upper echelon of wrestlers like a Hogan. He did this before Hogan. He did this before Flair.
He was Hogan before Hogan.
He is essentially the godfather of baby faces.
Yes.
So we are very sad to see him go. For you all that don't know much about Bruno Sammartino, he is a immigrant son of Italian immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where exactly from
He's
Italy.
from...
But he is, I believe, from the same place that Mauro Ranallo's family is from.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Leopoldo. That's his birth name is Bruno Leopoldo Francesco Sammartino.
That's interesting.
Born in...
Pizzoferrato.
Pizzoferrato, Italy. October 6, 1935, he passed at the age of 82 on April 18th, 2018. Hearts go out to thoughts, prayers, vibes goes out to his family.
Yeah, his three sons. I believe one of them used to be a wrestler.
Yeah, he was Bruno Jr.
Couple quick facts about Bruno. If
sure.
you don't know, he sold out Madison Square Garden 188 times.
Damn.
Bruno has been known as the man who built Madison Square Garden.
With that many times selling out,
Yeah.
I don't see why he wouldn't be.
You look at it this way. You go to New York City. If you've ever been, you know there's a big majority of Italian immigrants.
Yeah.
So you think about it this way. Let's say we're kids in the 40s and the 50s.
Yeah.
Or, around the time that Bruno was around.
Right.
Let's say Tito Santana was the big ticket.
Okay.
Obviously of Hispanic descent.
Yeah.
Who are we going to be looking for? The person that looks like us, that sounds like us, that has the same background as us.
Yeah.
Look at the people from New York City. Primarily Italian Americans.
American immigrants.
Maybe first generation, maybe immigrants. They see Bruno, they hear his story. Hell, they might just see the last name Sammartino, and that is why he connected with that crew of Italian Americans.
Yeah.
Evidently for 188 times, selling that out.
Well, I mean, he held the WWF World Heavyweight Championship for for 7 years, 8 months, and 1 day. That's 2,803 days, dude.
He began his first reign on May 17th, 1963, when he dethroned Nature Boy Buddy Rogers in an unheard of 48 seconds.
Wow.
That's not a berry, but that's a pullover for the ages.
And he held on to that title? I mean, dude.
7 years, dude.
And he carried that company on his. He put that literally is the defining putting the team on your back. Dude.
He lost the title to the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff on January 18th, 1971. Bruno Sammartino was also a very first time, 2-time WWF champion.
Yeah, and we actually we were talking earlier on the ride over here about the Andre the Giant documentary. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. But they actually made a documentary for Bruno on the WWE Network. I checked it out. It's actually a really nice documentary. It shows like the backstory of him, like how he grew up in Italy, and him and his family actually evaded Nazis.
That's insane.
And I believe I don't know if his mother was killed by the Nazis or whatever, but he escaped. He was able to escape.
I would check, but I want to say the whole family escaped. I would hope.
Yeah.
But that is something for a person to have to put over their lifetime. Hey, I escaped a Nazi. Hey, I was the first time WWF champion for 7 years.
What a tale, what a legacy, what a life.
I rarely say this, but there's a lot of people that you can say they lived many lifetimes.
Yes.
This is definitely one of them.
Oh, for sure.
He lived many lifetimes. And again, Hall of Famer, our hearts go out to his family, his friends, anybody who cared or ever knew the name Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what, Alex? Let's get off that note and jump into the headlines.
Tomorrow, the greatest Royal Rumble takes place in Saudi Arabia. Now, if you were listening to our podcast last week, you know that we went over the entire card, head to toe, tip top, all through it. So we're not going to go ahead and bore you with those details again, but there has been some type of controversy that's been popping up this past week about the greatest Royal Rumble.
Bro.
So, as we spoke about last week, the women will not be wrestling.
Right.
There are some people out in the fandom world that are offended by this, and some people are just going, look, it's just the culture. They're trying to do better as far as getting the WWE brand expanded as far as a worldwide expansion.
Right.
Now, with expansion, now with growth, you have to have some type of some give.
Yeah.
Everything can't happen at once.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are feeling, well, if the men can wrestle, the women can wrestle. You have to look at the broader picture. You have to look at the culture where this is established.
Yeah.
Now, the WWE is set to make quite a handsome amount of money off of this. Essentially, would you call it a house show, a pay-per-view, a specialty?
I'd call it an attraction.
Gabe,
I would say that this event is more of an attraction, a tryout, if you will, for the people over there in that country. My belief, I'm going to be honest here, and I mean, please, if somebody wants to argue anything with me, feel free to do so, because, I do not mind backing. I'm not going to back down from a fight, but I'm going to tell you right now, like, in my opinion, bro, like, it's their culture. This is their way of life. This is the way they have been for thousands of years, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a historian, but I'm going to be honest and just be like this. WWE, as you said, there has to be some give. WWE is going over there as a visitor to these people's country. They are not. Now, let me backtrack here. Let's just say this was happening in San Antonio, Texas, where we live.
Yeah.
Let's just say San Antonio with a large Catholic background.
Okay, I see where you're going with
Let's
this.
just go here. Let's just do this. They say we don't want to see women wrestling, scantily clad women wrestling, because that's not part of our way of life. Now, This is America, Jack. You can do whatever you want to do. You can live within the confines of the law, of course,
Yeah.
But over there, it's a whole different ballgame. This is not only their government. This is their religion. This is their way of life.
Yep.
You have to go in there respecting that. It's like you come into my house.
It's their house.
It's their house.
Yeah.
You got to come into my house, and you have to you eat what I give you, bro. And if you don't like what I'm feeding you, then get out.
Go back to your house.
Go back to your house. You know, it's a respect thing. You know, I get the uproar about, oh well, you know, women's rights, and this is a women's revolution, and this and that, and you know what? More power to that, respect to that. I love watching women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Women's wrestling has evolved to such a higher degree and up to a higher standard than what it was in the 90s.
It's not lowbrow anymore.
It's not lowbrow.
Well, it's not lowbrow in the WWF anymore.
Well, let's look at it this way. It's kind of like back in the day. And see, here's another thing. Back in the day, women's wrestling was like a sideshow.
Yeah.
It was started off in the carny days and the carnivals and all that stuff. It was a sideshow along with, midget wrestling is what they called it. You know, all that stuff like that. It's sideshow. Now, to me, women's wrestling has become a attraction, like an Andre, like a Brock.
It's main evented.
It's main evented. You can't deny that. But look, you gotta respect these people's house. And if that's the only takeaway, that they can't allow women to wrestle over there in their house, in their country, then you say, you know what? Okay, it's all right. Ladies, we've got something special in mind for you. We're going to do something right. We're going to do right by you. I don't see it as an issue as long as the WWE turns around and says, hey, we're going to do right by you.
I agree.
Does that make sense?
No, I completely agree. I don't want to say that this is blown out of proportion, because if you believe something, then it's your belief. I'm not going to discredit you. Mm-hmm. But it's also, right now, this isn't for lack of a better term, this isn't the hill to die on.
Right. Pick your battles.
We don't know where this is going to lead.
Yeah.
As it is right now, Saudi Arabia is opening up the first movie theater in 30 years.
Wow.
So they're going to be showing Black Panther as their first movie.
Wow.
So look how progressive that is.
Okay. And you know what? Look, you got, like you said, it's not the hill to die on. Pick your battles. Hey, look, they're showing a summer blockbuster movie. Yeah. Which is unheard of.
Yeah. And I think what's happening is the change that everybody expects the WWF to stand for, we want the women to wrestle, has not happened yet.
Not yet.
You have to take things baby steps.
We'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get there. We just, it's one day at a time. It's one day at a time.
It really is one day at a time. Because if you're going to think, oh, well, the WWF needs, or WWE needs to stand up and say, well, if none of the women can wrestle, then nobody can wrestle. Look, I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that side of the coin. But the other side of the coin is we need to get our foot in the door first before we get the whole crew in there.
Of course.
You don't want to, going back to the house analogy, you don't want to bring over a house guest that pisses all over everything, and then you go, guess what? Both of y'all ain't coming back.
Oh,
here
bro,
again.
it's like, remember when you were like, I don't know if this ever happened to you. I don't know if any of my family members are watching or listening, but my tia would invite.
Hold on.
Wait, let me finish this thought real quick.
Quick shout out. My mom is watching us now.
Hey, Mom, how's
What
it
up,
going?
Mom?
Alex's mom is watching live. Okay, so mind your P's and Q's, Alex. No cussing, no nothing like that. All right, I don't want to hear any shit like that. Anyway, what I'm saying is this, dude. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I would have like a birthday party, and it was rare that we had birthday parties. I mean, rare. Like, I had a birthday party when I turned 6, and then when I turned 13. Let me just throw that out there. Okay? When I was 13, my tia brought my cousin, which was fine, my 2 cousins, but then they brought their friends who stayed the night before. Hey, let's go get some free food. You don't do that.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You don't do
it's
that.
tacky.
It's tacky.
It's tacky.
It's tacky.
But again, so with that being said, the change will come at some point, but everybody has to be a little bit more patient with, especially in that climate. You look at what's happening around there. This isn't the worst thing that could be. Really, what I would be concerned about is safety.
Oh, that's what I'm worried about, too.
I wouldn't worry so much about
what's going on right now.
I'm saying,
oh my
look,
gosh.
As an outsider looking in, you have to understand the American view is.
Mind your P's and Q's, Alex.
Oh, she's off now.
Okay, great.
Or maybe she's on. I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point.
But anyway, they just need to understand things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But just not as fast as you want them to.
Yeah.
The card, great. Does it need more women? Dude, it's already clocked in at 6 hours.
Yeah.
I don't think they need an extra 2 hours of women's
No.
wrestling. If you want that, wait. They'll
Just
give
wait.
it
It's
to
gonna
you.
happen. Just wait. Well, let's move on.
Yes.
Superstar shakeup
Yes.
is upon us. It's already happened.
Raw lost.
I believe
Dude,
that too.
Raw just bit the farm on this.
So they had what? I'm gonna try to use this expression. Did they have quantity over quality?
It feels like it. It just seemed like.
Because
Well, let me read you.
Read me the list for Raw.
Okay, moving from SmackDown to Raw. This is
Yeah.
who Raw got: Jinder Mahal, Sunil Singh, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the Riot Squad: Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, Zack Ryder, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Natalya, Dolph Ziggler, Mojo Rawley, The Ascension, Baron Corbin, Bobby Roode, Mike Kanellis, and Chad Gable. And Drew McIntyre.
So when I think we talked about this in the last episode, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just like really quickly run this down. I don't care. I don't care for this changeup on Raw.
No.
Now I could see some cool stuff happening with Bobby Roode. I
Yeah.
could see some cool stuff happening. Charlotte's on Raw.
Charlotte is still on SmackDown.
Still on SmackDown. Okay. Well, let's talk Raw real quick.
Yes.
Ruby, the Riot Squad, good move.
I think it's a good way to get Ronda Rousey strong. by maybe taking out.
You
got to
feed Ronda right now. You got to feed
Excuse
Ronda.
me.
You got to have this. And if Triple H is the one that's really working with Ronda, in my eyes, he's gonna go an old school route. Why not go the old school Dusty Rhodes versus the Four Horsemen route? You got your babyface, white meat babyface, going up against your monster heels women's faction.
I see that.
You know what I mean?
No, I got that.
You got a lot of potential in Bobby Roode. I don't really see anything happening much with Jinder Mahal. I think it was more of a failed experiment now at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Dude, honestly, I think that Jinder Mahal move was just, hey, we're going to have that house show in India. Let's go ahead and try to get somebody that's going to be the champion to get ticket sales.
But I mean, but they're all going to be there. So what good does that do? Maybe they got bored with Jinder Mahal competing against SmackDown guys.
Maybe.
And they got to change it up.
I'm just bored of Jinder Mahal in general.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Mojo Rawley, shout out to Jobber Tears podcast. Those guys and gal are actually like really into Mojo Rawley. My opinion on Mojo Rawley, I'm not a big fan. I only see him like going so far.
I don't see the hype.
Nice. I don't see it either. I'm gonna go like maybe Zack Ryder has been around for a while.
Yeah,
he's so WWE. I don't see that guy going anywhere until they release him. But to be honest with you, Mojo Rawley is probably going to end up in my eyes like another Zack Ryder. It's just Zack Ryder 2.0 in my opinion.
Low mid card.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that's who Raw got.
Yeah.
NXT brought these people to SmackDown.
Let's do it.
Killian Dane, win. Eric Young, win. Alexander Wolf, win. Zelina Vega, win. Cien Almas,
Dude,
win.
You wanted that to happen too.
The Miz, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, Asuka, Big Cass, The Club, and R-Truth. Out of all of that, the only name that doesn't sound good is R-Truth.
It's so random. It's so random to have R-Truth at Raw.
It seems like
SmackDown.
I feel like it's
showing up.
It's going to be like, hey, he's going to wrestle a dark match. Go for it.
Why not?
Knock yourself out. Honestly, I am more excited about SmackDown, especially now that they've turned Nakamura heel.
Oh, dude, Nakamura as heel is going to be. It's already shaping up to be something awesome. I would not mind if they did a rematch of Nakamura and AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
They are doing a rematch of them tomorrow at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Do they think they dropped the title?
I do imagine titles changing.
I could see it. I mean, I don't think.
Why not?
What the hell? If you drop the title to Nakamura, it's not going to hurt AJ
It's
at
not going
all.
to hurt anybody because then you have a bigger program to work with them.
I
You
agree.
got Daniel Bryan going for the belt against Nakamura.
Oh!
Yeah, everybody just like got really excited on the internet when that. Look, SmackDown is going to be the A show. This is SmackDown 6, as I was told by the Jobber Tears podcast. This is SmackDown 6 when Paul Heyman ran the show. This is what wrestling is supposed to be. This is where it's at. What do you got? You got some feedback from Instagram followers?
Raulzilla is saying hello.
Raulzilla?
Yeah.
What's up, Raulzilla?
Just giving us a thumbs up.
Right
Letting
on.
us know
Give you a
he's
thumbs
listening.
up right back.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. No, dude. I mean, there's the no speak English with Nakamura thing. It's awesome.
You know, it's funny. Things, as much as they change, they stay the same. You look at heels throughout the WWE's career or its promotion.
Yeah.
And it's always the conniving evil foreigner.
Yeah.
That's the heel. And God, they didn't stray from that at all.
They didn't. But what I'm glad is that they didn't pull this whole they didn't turn him into Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, God, yeah.
They didn't turn him into Bruce Lee. They didn't turn him into a nerdy, stereotypical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't like that they do that, but you know what? They're serving Nakamura right, I think, in this heel turn. I'm excited to see where it goes.
I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Cien Almas.
There's so many.
Him against Daniel Bryan?
That would be awesome. There's so many, and speaking of Daniel Bryan, there's so many possibilities that you can do with Cien Almas. But speaking of Daniel Bryan, Big Cass coming back to SmackDown.
That's interesting.
So here's my thing on Big Cass coming back to SmackDown. Let me be. I don't know if there's a lot of Big Cass fans out there, but let me just be straight up and blunt. I don't care. I don't care for Big Cass. I never cared for Big Cass because Big Cass is a big guy.
Yeah.
Okay. But I never saw him as a singles competitor. I mean, Enzo was his mouthpiece, and obviously Enzo's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Where does that leave Big Cass now? Is he going to cut promos? Do you put Paul Heyman with him?
I think
What do you do?
My jury's still out on Big Cass. When the last time we saw him in ring before this Daniel Bryan was against Enzo, and that was supposed to be the blow off. So really, he was right at liftoff.
Yeah, he was about to go.
Right there.
Yeah.
But he got hurt. So what I want to see is, look, you position him with one of the best that you can. Kind of setting him up not to fail.
It's hard to do that now with the roster that SmackDown has.
But think of it. How long he's been out. What has he learned? Maybe his promo ring. Maybe his promos have gotten better.
That's true.
I'm waiting to see what he can do in ring. I want to see him in an actual ring.
Let's see what happens. I mean, if he's going up against Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan's going to be ring general of that match, and he's going to
look good.
He's going to make him look like $1 million
for sure.
So I don't think there's anything to worry with Big Cass. But like you said, let's just see what happens. Paige is a new GM for SmackDown.
That's a really good move.
It keeps her in the business. It doesn't let her go insane. Hopefully, she's keeping it together. Like I got to be real. Like, man, when I watched that, I was watching the Hall of Fame ceremony, and I know I'm stuck on it because I was really into it. God, dude, she looked very out of it. She looked very. I mean, we follow her on Instagram and stuff like that, and she's always posting up videos and she's having a good time. But, I hope that she has learned from being young, and I hope that she is, what do you call it? I hope that she's kind of like settled in the way of like learning the business, and I hope that she's not partying and throwing it away. It would just be a shame to see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
But kudos on the move for her to be GM. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. I didn't think that was going to happen. But I mean, speaking of things that you don't think is going to happen, possible Bullet Club reunion in the WWE
with the club. Yeah, it would be smart for them to utilize. They need to figure something out because this whole club thing,
they're flirting with it so bad.
Just change the name into something new and original because everybody, it's the weird what's the word I'm thinking of? Like the wink to everybody else.
Oh yeah,
hey,
it's a super kick party. Wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I mean, I understand that they're not going to. They can't say this is the Bullet Club. They can't say this is the Balor Club. This is another club. How many clubs are you going to have?
Oh, they might split it off into 2 clubs. Who knows?
Dylan Dunbar in the house.
What up, Dylan Dunbar of Heavy Metal Wrestling? Awesome guy. Awesome promotion, dude. I couldn't put that over anymore. You know what? If they do a Bullet Club or like a club reunion or anything like that, I just want to see if they do it, somebody's got to go heel. And Balor can't go heel right now. I think it's got to be AJ that goes heel. but
Turn all
AJ
three of them. Here's what I want to see.
No one can turn right now.
If they're going to do this as a full-fledged posse,
Okay.
get more people than just 3. Because 3 people is like
Like a DX, like 5 or 6 people.
something. You can get 2 other people. Shit, I'll take Cien Almas. You put Cien Almas with that crew.
Nah.
But he's already got the Los Ingobernables.
Yeah, but
So
he's his
already-
own. He's his own with
Yeah.
Selena Vega.
But you know what I'm saying.
I got you.
Bring somebody else up.
Somebody that's familiar with their style of wrestling.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, though. If you put a bunch of guys, like, it's kind of like the NWO. You throw a bunch of guys with some T-shirts on, with club T-shirts on, it's not going to work,
Yeah.
dude. You know what I mean? It never does. And, like, the only way, in my eyes, that you pull that off, you got to get the Bucks in WWE. And,
yeah. But do they need to be there? I'm interested to see what's going to happen because there's no more being the elite.
No, there's not.
So that's interesting because now what are they going to rely on as far as like moving storylines along?
Well, I think what they're doing now is they're taking a break from all that, and I think they're going to push they're pushing for the All-In show.
Which Joey Janela got added to.
Dude, Joey Janela got added to. Tessa Blanchard's on there. Britt Baker's on there.
Yeah. Chelsea Green is on there.
Chelsea Green is there. Deanna Purrazzo's on there.
Yep.
Of course, all the Bullet Club. I think, who's homeboy with the lollipop that we like a lot?
Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan's going to be on
Yeah.
there. I mean, it sounds like a stacked show so far, but I think, and let's just, call it like it is. If CM Punk doesn't show up,
It's going to be disappointing.
it's going to be a disappointment.
He's not
show
going
up.
to show up, but
Yeah, why not have Colt Cabana show up and wrestle somebody?
I could see that. I think they could.
Have him wrestle Joey Ryan. Wouldn't that be fun?
That's a good move.
Wouldn't that just be fun?
Okada versus.
You just want to throw Okada into everything.
Well, Okada's wrestling.
Is he?
He's in the
all
All-In
in?
show, dude. Yeah.
Okada's all in?
Yes. Yeah.
I've actually wanted to make, and maybe Dylan Dunbar's out there listening. I've always wanted to do a graphic where it has our picture and we're all in, and we just post that and just see.
You want to be on that show so bad,
Dude, I want to be on that show. That would be so much fun, just to go to Chicago and
Have you ever been to Chicago?
I've never been.
Me either.
I would love to go. It'd be fun. But let me go ahead and get some shout outs for some places out here. So let's go ahead and do that. Deep in the heart of downtown San Antonio, Texas, the Aztec Theater, San Antonio's premier venue for live music and more. Thursday, April 26th, Zoe. Sunday, April 30th, Los Tres Triste Tigres. And coming up in May, Hollywood Undead, Sum 41 Does This Look Infected 15th Anniversary Tour. WWE presents NXT Live and more. For info on these and future events, visit www.aztectheater.com and follow Aztec Theater on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Aztec Theater, a legendary experience. If you're looking for a unique, clean, and comfortable shop to get your next tattoo, check out the artists at Galaveras Tattoos. They're located downtown San Antonio at 628 South St. Mary's, just north of Cesar Chavez. Galaveras is home to some of the best, most experienced tattoo artists in San Antonio, and the only shop in town with 4 female artists on staff. Established in 2005, Galaveras Tattoos offers a variety of styles and the highest quality tattoos with a price that won't hurt your budget. So stop by for a consultation or give them a call to schedule one. It's easy. 210-227-7673. That's 210-227-7673. Calaveras Tattoos, San Antonio's favorite tattoo shop. You do need to get some ink.
I've
dude.
been trying to tell my wife that I want to get a half sleeve, but because of where we work, you kind of have to be kind of careful with it.
Well,
But I also wear long sleeve shirts a lot.
Yeah, so that doesn't really affect you. You
Yeah.
just want to have maybe like a half sleeve where it just kind of comes up from the shirt.
Yeah.
And, if people see it, then you can show them if they want to see it kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, dude, I just got my tattoo. It's a Misfit skull, but it's a luchador mask.
Wow.
I've always wanted a Misfits tattoo, like ever since I got tattoos.
Wow.
And I finally got it, and I'm so happy with it just because it looks like the Fiend
Yeah.
is wearing the mask, the
Yeah,
luchador
yeah.
mask. And so that's what I really, it's like kind of like a 3D kind of pop out thing. So if you saw on our Instagram, like it's up there. So definitely check it out. tell the Misfits and Danzig and Jerry Only and all that gang to come through San Antonio because we still love the Misfits. I'm not going to lie.
Dude,
What's
I got to link you to speaking of music, I have to link you to the San Antonio Current did a write-up. It's a little article about how San Antonio is and kind of was the heavy metal capital of the world.
I read it.
Dude, it's so good.
It's cool. I mean, the history is pretty much accurate for the most part. They did do their research. They interviewed some really cool guys like Joe Cutthroat of the Cutthroats and Hotsy. If you haven't seen Hotsy or the Cutthroats, you're missing out. Great metal band. And Hotsy, kind of like a doom metal or like a sludge metal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
And the Cutthroats is like Misfits on freaking acid.
Oh.
Great band. They actually have a shop. Joe has a shop here in San Antonio, Texas, called the I want to say it's called, and please forgive me if I get it wrong, the Robot Monster Guitars.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Off
It's over
of
on
St. Mary's. Yes.
Yeah, it's a cool spot, dude. It's really cool. So you were telling me you actually got to see the Andre the Giant documentary?
I did. I finally got to watch it
what'd you
this
think?
past week. I've got some mixed feelings about it.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, I thought it was awesome for people who didn't really know too much about Andre the Giant because either they were too young or they're just now getting into professional wrestling and they go, oh, hey, by the way, there's this giant dude giant dude.
Yeah.
There was a guy named Andre
Literally
the
a
Giant.
giant.
Yeah. And I only know him from The Princess Bride or whatever else besides wrestling. So
Well, on that point, I love that they interviewed
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
And I love that they interviewed, I don't even know his name, but
Yeah, I know
it's
who you're
the-
talking about. I can see his
Wesley.
face.
Wesley.
Yes.
If you haven't seen Princess Bride, check it out. It's a pretty cool movie.
That's such an understatement. It's a
It's-
pretty good movie.
it's-
It's an awesome.
It's amazing,
I'm Indigo
dude.
Montoya.
Dude,
my father.
there's so many. Never mess with a Sicilian. You know, like there's so many.
Anybody want a peanut? Anybody want a peanut? Oh, please don't hit me like that.
But that being said, great documentary. However, I do have some gripes with this. We were talking about this on the way here. It seemed very much a WWE production where it was primarily focused on certain things that the WWE wanted you to know. They had backgrounds on, this is his handler. You know me. You know I like to delve into...
Carrie Elwes.
Yes.
Carrie Elwes
Yeah.
is Wesley. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So you know how I like to delve into things and find out more about, everything.
Yeah.
I wanted them to go more in depth with his time outside of the WWE as well. Now, I understand if that was to happen, it would take forever to get through this documentary, but he had a match with Inoki in Japan. That's no small feat.
Yeah. You know what? I don't remember them even talking about.
They said one small thing about Andre was never a heel in America. He was a heel in Japan, and they showed him briefly in All Japan with a kimono and like a sash.
Wait, they said he was never a heel in America?
They were talking about right before WrestleMania 3.
Okay.
They said this whole time before WrestleMania 3, he was always looked at as the good guy. Hey, thumbs up. Andre's the good guy.
Okay.
But then they said, no, he had done the bad person thing, the heel,
Yeah.
in Japan and other promotions. And this is the first time that people in the WWF's universe got to see him as a heel.
Oh, wow.
So what I wanted to see is, damn, dude, just give some brief mention about he was in All Japan. Even if it's a small 5 to 10 minute segment of just, hey, this is his time. This is something significant he did, because a worldwide audience got to see him. It wasn't just primarily in America. It was really cool, though, to see his siblings talk about him and to show that gigantic chair that he used to sit in.
that was his chair?
Dude, it was amazing.
That
It's
was
like,
cool.
to see that scale, like seeing him as
To a normal man, that chair?
because the brother looked like a big guy as well,
Yeah.
like maybe your size,
Yeah.
like a big guy.
Yeah.
But that chair looked like he was standing right next to like a doll. Like he
Oh,
was the
yeah.
doll looking at the life-size chair. So that was pretty cool. I wish they would have got a couple more people to talk about Andre. Now, obviously, I understand why they got Vince, why they got Hogan, why they got.
Oh, yeah.
They really only talked to Ric Flair for like a couple of things. He wasn't
like involved as much
right
with his career, with Andre's career.
Yeah.
But, the thing that kind of threw me was like, it seemed like they not so much that they were burying Andre. They were celebrating Andre, but it seemed like the focus was too much on his later years, like his pain and the alcoholism and things like that. And I mean, those are amazing feats and amazing stories. Like, how he would get drunk and just sleep in the lobby. Yeah. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's gonna move him. Like, you try to
get a forklift.
Get a forklift to move him. But I mean, like, really, like, you don't want to dwell too much on that. You kind of want to talk about the man's career.
Yeah, they really didn't talk too much about wrestling.
Was he ever married?
I know they said something about him having a kid, but I don't know if he was married because then again, she could have passed on, Well,
let me see.
So I'll filibuster while you're looking this up.
Yeah, for sure.
I liked it. I do wish they would have gotten some other clips, pull from different, not documentaries. If they would have pulled from different interviews by different wrestlers, like Koloff, like Roddy Piper, people that were around his era. Even if it wasn't filmed for HBO, they could still splice it in. Shit, they do it all the time for 30 for 30. And it looks awesome.
That 30 for 30 with Ric Flair, to me, if I put the two next to each other, I love the 30 for 30 Flair.
I've yet to watch it only because I understand it's got some heavy elements to it. And watching the Andre documentary, I didn't want to go right into the Ric Flair documentary and bum myself out even more.
Oh, I know, dude.
That is
rough.
It's planned for this weekend to be watched.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to watch it, man. It's a good one. I'm finding that he had a daughter.
Yes, they showed her.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
they showed her
she's the one who owns his estate now, or owns the house in North Carolina.
They don't talk about Mama though.
Well,
maybe there was just a
brief fling.
Yeah.
Who knows? But whatever. That's not for us to tell or us to decipher for anybody.
But they are talking about doing a movie.
An Andre movie?
An Andre
Who the hell
movie.
are they going to get to play Andre? Shaq and Whiteface?
Big Show.
That would make the easiest, but he doesn't look like him.
He doesn't look like him. Prosthetics, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll make it work. But what about other like documentaries do you remember that were
Dude,
like,
okay.
Like, let's list some documentaries that were like really good. In that realm of Andre.
So Beyond the Mat. Do you remember that?
Beyond the Mat was the one with the screw job? Did they talk
No,
about
that was Wrestling with Shadows.
That one was rough.
Beyond the Mat was the one with Terry Funk,
Mick
The
Foley.
Rock, and Mick Foley.
Oh, that was so good.
And remember, that was the one that the promoter was like screwing people out of money. I think that's the same guy that was promoting the John Cena when John Cena was just getting started.
Beyond the Mat?
I want to say that's it. I remember they were showing. Oh, Beyond the Mat had the best Paul Heyman promo I've ever heard.
Which one was that?
They're behind the curtain. I think they were about to do the Barely Legal, the first pay-per-view.
Oh, and he's like hyping up the.
Fuck you, you're
Dude.
wrong. Fuck you, we're right.
He knew how to. The thing with Paul Heyman.
It sounded like Dylan Dunbar giving a speech.
Yeah. He knew how to get people like excited. He knew how to get his locker room ready for battle. This is what it seemed like.
Yeah, it was, and I need to go back and watch it, but it was an awesome movie. The Wrestling with Shadows movie, the Bret Hart getting screwed.
That's so rough.
It was a good documentary.
It is so rough.
Have you ever seen the movie The Backyard?
Is that the Backyard Wrestling
Yes.
one? I dabbled in watching that, but I never finished it.
Go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Because it is so entertaining.
Are there like guys that like made it out of that?
No.
Oh, no. That's awesome.
There was a guy named, and he's my favorite person. I used to go back and try to watch his YouTube clips, called The Lizard.
Okay.
He's a gentleman. I don't know where he's from. He's probably from like a podunk town, like Fresno or something. Shout out to nobody from Fresno because that place sucks.
Oh, you get a lot of people mad.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. Happens.
So what happened was I think he believed his own hype. He thought he was going to be able to get into the WWF from just backyard wrestling.
Like all of us thought we could.
No, but this guy was like...
He was for real about it.
He went to a Tough Enough in Las Vegas. I think it was the first Tough Enough. And he tried out. And, dude, he was the Lizard. The Lizard. That was his gimmick. The Lizard.
Oh, my gosh, dude. No.
Yeah. I want to go back and watch it. I think I'm gonna go watch that.
Yeah,
this
we gotta
weekend,
check
too.
that out.
Hey,
So
you've really never watched it.
I've never
I'll
seen
find it.
I gotta watch
Dude,
it.
you and I are gonna watch it.
All right,
Dead serious.
I'm down for that. So
Well, what about you? What documentary? What wrestling? Do you want to broaden this to wrestling movies or wrestling documentaries? Because there's wrestling movies like
you know what wrestling documentary, like, it always made me laugh, and I think it was just a joke.
Hold on, let me try to read your mind here.
You already know which one it is. I'm sure everybody listening will know what it is.
Lay it on me.
Dennis Stamp.
What?
Have you never seen this one?
No.
It's probably like a 30-minute. I think it was part of. Let me see.
Dennis Stamp.
I'm gonna look this up. He's a
what?
Okay, professional wrestler and referee from Amarillo, Texas.
What?
Okay? Yes, dude. So he wrestled.
What the hell?
It was in the Beyond the Mat. It was in the Beyond the Mat appearance.
That may have been that same guy.
That was the guy that he's jumping on the trampoline and he's doing the 5-pound weights and like he's all mad and they're like Terry Funk's like, well, we want you to come to the show. He's like, I'm not booked, so I'm not going to the show. He's like, straight up, I'm not booked. But this guy actually wrestled and he put a lot of guys over, like bigger guys. Like, let me see if I could find some names here. He wrestled in Ontario. He was in AWA for a while. He wrestled Greg Valentine. He's wrestled, of course, the Funks, the Fabulous Rougeau brothers. Rougeau, I'm sorry.
From Montreal to Memphis.
The Midnight Rockers, Jimmy Snuka, Jerry Lawler. I mean, he's done some stuff, but he's not like a household name. But if you watch that little piece of that portion of the documentary,
yeah,
it's very interesting. There's that one. What was the other one? I love the Ric Flair 30 for 30. What was the other one? The Dusty Rhodes documentary is actually really good. I really enjoyed that one. The Son of a Plumber, or the American Dream one.
the one that came out in a 3-disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was good. The Four Horsemen was a good one.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot. I think they could have done a better job.
They could redo it if they wanted
They could
to.
redo it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see
At this
them.
point, they could redo it.
Who would you, like, as of right now, who would you want? And for people watching on Instagram, if you're still hanging around, what's a documentary that you would want to see?
Are we talking people who are
Wrestling. Everybody.
currently?
Anybody. Well, I mean, let's just, you know what? Let's do current.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Let's do current, and let's do one on the past wrestler.
Past wrestlers, I want a more in-depth, and this is I want a documentary that wasn't done by the WWE.
Okay.
So not those, not like the Dusty Rhodes one,
Okay.
because I want them to do an in-depth documentary on Hogan.
That'd be a good one.
I'm
Like a real
Yes.
HBO or
Yes.
like a
because
30 for 30
you
on
and I
Hogan.
grew up on Hogan.
Of course.
You
yeah.
know, everything that's happened in his lifetime, we've kind of been witness to. You know, the scandals, him, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I would like to see them get a legit documentary done before he passes on. I'm not trying to be morbid.
No. You're
but,
right.
you don't want to be like 10 years down the road and he's not doing well and you're like, oh, we should have done this documentary. Now, current roster.
Isn't it kind of harder for the current roster? Because you
It
feel
isn't,
like
it isn't.
the internet has kind of taken, like, the internet is chronicling what they're doing right now. They're documenting what they're doing right now. So as far as a documentary, like, let's say 20 years from now.
I take it back. You know who actually you want to see a documentary on? Rey Mysterio.
They did one.
But not the WWE one.
Okay.
Like
you-
I'm saying,
you
like
want
I want them to show him chronic. Forget that, Chris Jericho.
Oh, that
as a current wrestler,
such a good one, dude.
Have you ever read his book?
I never got to read his book.
It is.
I've read
really good.
The Rock and Foley's book, and those were amazing.
The Foley books are really good.
It's an eye opener.
Yeah,
It's an eye opener. Oh man! So Chris Jericho.
I would like to see a Chris Jericho because if you read his book, he dude, forget that. He could basically all they have to do, read the book, and that's their blueprint for that movie.
Oh yeah,
because he breaks it down by he went to Germany, he went to England, he went to Japan, he went to Mexico.
Now, would you how would I put this? Would you want to see a biopic? What biopic would you want to see? because they're having one with Paige here. They're having a Paige biopic coming out. So let's go with that. Let's go with a biopic and a documentary.
So the documentary, Chris Jericho.
Okay.
I think that would be the most. Well, for me personally, I want to see all that go down. Now, as far, pardon me, for the biopic itself, Macho Man.
That'd be kind of cool.
I think he deserves something. You know, you can get somebody that looks like Savage.
Oh yeah.
You know, just get him big.
Oh, I mean
his
that's
raspy voice, brother.
Yeah, you
know,
get somebody that can do that.
And I think it'd be good to see just because really, as far as I've ever seen anything with Randy Savage, it's always been a weird balance of, is this his character?
Or
this
is he
real
really
life?
crazy?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'd like to see somebody really be like, that's him. Or just do a Dusty Rhodes documentary. Or, I'm sorry,
A
Dusty Rhodes.
biopic?
Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot to tell in that, I
Yes.
would think.
What about you? What would you want to see?
You know, I was gonna go with Roddy Piper for a documentary, but I know they've done quite a bit of those, like Born to Controversy in 2006, and they had a bunch of other ones. It's really hard to do. I would say it's really hard to do with Roddy Piper because Piper would want to be in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just. I feel like that's how his personality is. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be part of this. I don't want you guys to do this when I'm dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And unfortunately, he's passed on, and that's the thing. I would want to see a in-depth, non-WWE production of The Undertaker.
Wow.
I think that would be so good to go through from all the way from back in the territory days and go to until the day he retires.
I got something even better for you.
Sure.
I'm sorry, you just reminded me of something.
Yeah.
You know what I would love to see as a documentary?
What's that?
And we've talked about this before as far as a project.
Yeah.
The Samoan Dynasty.
That would be amazing, dude.
Do the
That
full
would,
lineage.
like, all the way.
Yes.
Oh man, that'd be like at least 4 hours of content,
Or
maybe more. Dude.
I tell you exactly who you could get to do it. Ken Burns. He's good at making long-ass documentaries.
there you go.
But they're always really good.
yeah.
And
That'd
by
be
the way,
kinda cool.
if nobody's ever seen a Ken Burns documentary, start with jazz.
Okay.
Dude, I love jazz music.
Yeah.
Watching that, I'm not going to get too much on a tangent because this is not a music
Right.
podcast.
Right.
Ken Burns makes my favorite documentaries.
I'm gonna check that out.
Baseball, the
I'm gonna
jazz
look
one,
into that.
dude. 10 episodes. Each of them are 2 hours long.
You know,
It goes by like that.
I would say that's pretty cool. I think people would dig that. I want to say with biopic film.
Yeah.
The Rock.
I
That's
think
a
it's a
story.
strong choice.
It's a story.
yeah.
It's a good story.
Oh, for sure it is.
You
you know who
know-
could play The Rock?
The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah. Vin Diesel.
What the?
Just
Yeah.
have Vin Diesel play
Yeah.
everybody. Hey, Ma, you got some torque in the vehicle going on here. I don't know. I'm just BSing. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, man. Let's do some shout outs right here, and we'll talk a little bit about some local wrestling announcements.
Yes.
And I know you have a question for me, as you always do.
all the time.
So let's do it with some shout outs.
Legend says there is a place in San Antonio where there are battles of the mind and trivia, loteria, and celebrations where we drink and dance to live music. El Luchador, located at 622 Roosevelt in Southtown San Antonio.
Friday, June 8th, Heavy Metal Wrestling invades San Antonio, Texas at their new home, The Guillotine. With 2 minutes to midnight, witness the mayhem and madness that is Masada, New Japan Pro Wrestling superstar ACH, and making his heavy metal wrestling debut, son of WWE Hall of Famer Big John Studd, Big Sean Studd. Plus, women's action featuring the rematch of Alex versus Alexa. Also scheduled to appear, Ultraviolent Beast, the heavy metal berserker Ruben Steele, Great Scott, Dylan Devine, Terrell Tempo, Always Ready Cody Lane, and much more. Heavy Metal Wrestling live at the Guillotine, located at 1816 North Main Street. Get your tickets today at www.heavymetalwrestling.com. This card is subject to change. All ages permitted. Ages 18 and under must be accompanied by an adult. Must be 21 and up to drink. All right, so Lots of things happening in San Antonio, Texas. Right now, we are in the midst of Fiesta. If you don't know what Fiesta is basically a huge party. The city shuts down. No one works. Everybody's off. It's amazing. Not really. We still have to work, and it's a long thing. But it's great. We have a good time. People enjoy themselves. They eat tons of food, chicken on a stick, turkey legs, all that good stuff, baby. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. It's fun. Fiesta's a good time. Did you get some Fiesta stuff in you?
Dude, last Friday, I went to Market Square at Fiesta, bought a 20 ounce at the 7-Eleven, put it in a brown bag, just walked into Fiesta.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. That's what's up. That's
kept it so cheap.
That's the life, dude. So check it out. We've got some announcements for local wrestling happening in San Antonio, Texas. Heavy Metal Wrestling presents 2 Minutes to Midnight. Masada versus Great Scott is one of the first matches to be announced on the card. Now, look, Great Scott, we saw them at their last show, Psycho Holiday, at the Guillotine. Dude, Great Scott he's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was very impressed.
Yeah. The wrestling style is very technical. It reminded me a lot of like a Dean Malenko kind of style, minus the acrobatics of it.
Okay.
But the technical aspect, it blew me away. I'm looking forward to this match between him and Masada. Masada, given the reputation of being a hardcore juggernaut, I'm going to use that. A hardcore juggernaut, the guy can wrestle.
Dude, he, at one point, I saw on ROH TV, he wrestled Roderick Strong and held his own.
Oh, I'm sure. And you know, they you know, it's that's what usually happens with a lot of guys that are like doing hardcore wrestling. Like they get a bad rep because they're like, oh, you know, all you do is run around and throw things at people or whatever. But it's like, no, dude, like they can wrestle. You just got to give them a shot. You know what I mean? And Masada's one of those guys. So, you know, be on the lookout for 2 Minutes to Midnight, Heavy Metal Wrestling, June 8th at the Guillotine at 1816 North Main Avenue, right here in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah. Doors open at 8:30. Tickets available at heavymetalwrestling.com. Get your tickets. But before June 8th, there's another wrestling show that's happening May 4th, San Antonio, hotbed of professional wrestling, in my opinion. We're getting it back. We're getting it all together. Friday, May 4th, River City Wrestling is going to be hosting James Ellsworth and Abyss. James Ellsworth is set to defend his World Intergender Championship match against Joey Spector. We'll see how that goes. Should be a great show. Friday, May 4th at the Turner Club at 5555 Duffick Drive in Kirby, Texas. Definitely want to go ahead and get your tickets early. You can visit them at rivercitywrestling.com. But Alex, you have a question, as you always do.
Actually, our friends at the Jobbers Tiered Podcast tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, New York, New York. Let's go Yankees! Friday, April 27, 2018. Location, Legends at 6 West 33rd Street, New York, New York, 10001. They're going to be showing the greatest Royal Rumble.
That's going to be awesome.
And food specials are available. No cover with purchase of food or drink, $25 minimum per person. They're going to be showing it off with full audio beginning with the pre-show. Make sure you get your table reservations in because, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a long show. So 5 hours in, 11 to 6. You want to get out there, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Legends in New York City is probably one of those places that New York, dude. New York, when it comes to professional wrestling,
hotbed.
I'm
going to say it every time.
Yeah.
I went and saw ECW's One Night Stand in 2006, RVD defeating John Cena in maybe the best wrestling crowd I have ever been in.
I'm jealous, bro.
Dude, at the time, it was an out-of-body experience. Getting to see Paul Heyman right there.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm sure.
Woo!
Damn. Listen to this guy. He's going off on you people.
I love it.
He loves it.
I love it.
But look, the Jobber Tears podcast is hosting this viewing party for the greatest Royal Rumble at Legends Bar in not San Antonio, in
New York City.
New York City.
My mom's old hometown.
That's what's up. But yeah, man, you want to check out the guys and lady.
I'm going to give that address one more time.
Give it out there.
6 West 33rd Street, 6 West 33rd Street, New York, New York.
Yes, sir. You definitely want to check out the Jobber Tears podcast. Great group of people. They know their stuff when it comes to pro wrestling. I want to definitely get something going with them where we can do like a cross show. Hopefully one of these days. That would be awesome. Shout out to Mr. Black, Sir Wilkins, and Miss Janelle of HR. Great group of people. Like I said, check it out. Jobber Tears podcast and their event at Legends if you're in the New York City area tomorrow afternoon, morning. Alex, what's up, brother? What do you got for me today?
Well, here's your question.
Okay, here we go.
Drum roll.
Oh, wait.
If you had to have one wrestler never wrestle again, who would it be?
First off, I'd like to preface this with I do not wish ill will towards
No. Let's just say,
anyone.
hey, right now you're going to retire. No mas. No injuries. Nothing.
Undertaker.
Okay.
And okay, look, as a Texan, as a wrestling fan, Undertaker is one of those guys that is a household name. My mom knows who the Undertaker is.
Mira que Undertaker.
And she doesn't even watch wrestling.
Mira, mijo, the Undertaker.
Yeah, Undertaker, he's going to get you. I'm going to tell the man you were looking at him. No, but in all seriousness, like, Undertaker, as great as he was, I think it's time. I think it's time that he hangs it up, enjoys his life, and not having to go further damage his body for us. He's done enough for us. And thank you to Undertaker.
As
if you
he's
are
setting
listening.
to wrestle tomorrow.
I know, really. But you know
in
what?
a casket match.
Here's the thing, dude. Like, I'm cool with it. But I think now is the time to just, hey, man, you
Hang
know
up
what?
the boots.
Hang it up. You did a great job. You treated us well, as I'm sure we've treated him well.
I hope so.
You know? But yeah, I think it's time. I think the Undertaker can ride off in the sunset. Old Cowboy can ride away clean and
Unhurt.
be all right.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm going to go a little less nice with it.
Uh-huh.
Randy Orton.
Oh, I like this.
Randy Orton has been stale for a long time for me. He's been what Dolph Ziggler's turning into. It's become the same match every time he comes out. You know, it's like, whatever. Randy Orton's not going to hear this, and if he does, deal with it. But Randy Orton's become the bathroom match for me.
Yeah.
Like every time he comes on, I'm like,
And you know what hurts what's the belt that he doesn't even have a belt anymore, does he?
No. He's going for the U.S. title again.
That's going to hurt the title, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, if he wins the title, it's going to hurt him. In the long run, it's going to hurt him, dude. And the fact is like, they don't need Randy to succeed anymore. Look at the plethora. Oh, yeah, I use plethora.
Look at your big words now.
Look at the plethora of talent that has invaded SmackDown now. Does Randy Orton really fit in that mix anymore?
At this point, Randy Orton needs to do a very limited schedule.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a year.
And the thing is, a lot of who was it I was listening to? And please, I apologize because he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Ric Flair, I think I heard him on a podcast or somebody to this effect. It could have been Randy. It could have been Jericho, Chris Jericho. I don't know. But they were like, if Randy tried, he would be unstoppable.
And that's what
he doesn't give a shit anymore.
That's what I think my issue is.
That's what he don't care anymore.
You look at him wrestling, and it's just become
robotic.
That and honestly, every time I hear him talk, he just comes off very condescending to me.
Yeah,
like I'm a wrestler, you're not. Kneel before Zod. It's like, dude, come on.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's become like, oh, I'm the man. Great, dude. I respect you as a wrestler. You're doing something that not a lot of people in this world can do.
True.
But there comes a time where you just need to know either I need to learn to adapt and change my style and become more entertaining.
Yeah.
Or just wrestle limited dates.
But Randy, the thing is about Randy Orton, though, the only thing that he has working for him is that he's been there for a while.
Yeah, he's grandfathered in, basically.
Yeah, he's Triple H's boy. He's Vince's nephew, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
he's got lineage. Bob Orton. Bob,
yeah,
you know.
it's one of those things where you got to carry the name, and he's the only one that's doing it for the Orton family right now. I would think, as far as not wrestling wise, but celebrity or more well known.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, do I really want to sit through another Randy Orton? If you put Randy Orton against the Undertaker, I'm going to the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Here's where I see it. Who in the roster could go to another organization and thrive? I don't think Randy Orton is that guy.
No.
Randy Orton going to Japan would be terrible.
Oh, it'd be horrific.
Because he'd work a certain style, and they're like...
And they can't work with him.
Look at Jericho. He is amazing.
Yeah, but that's Jericho, man. Jericho, the thing is about Chris Jericho is he's wrestled all around the world, whereas Randy, I'm sure, was in OVW, did maybe minor indie stuff, and went WWE. He's a WWE product. That's what Randy Orton is. And I think at this point, in agreement with you, I think that this is it. This is I think we don't need a Randy Orton. We need a Cien Almas. We need an AJ Styles. We need a Nakamura. We need a Kevin Owens. We need a Sami Zayn main eventing. That's the kind of stuff that we need.
Yes.
You know, I think the wrestling fan has evolved into, obviously with the internet, excuse me, and the slew of podcasts that are out there.
Us being no different.
But I will say that there's something to be said about talent, and there's something to be said about a person who has talent but doesn't utilize it to its full potential.
Yes, I agree.
I think that's where I'm at on that.
I agree.
So I don't think there's anything else left to say, but
we out.